So Gary's notion of early, and in historical context, this absolutely is early,
Hmm.
but he feels like we can date some of the resurrection sayings, some of the creeds, some of the what he views are early recitations, that we can date those within the first 5 years after Jesus died. So, um,
That's actually
again,
right away.
now in terms of ancient history, pretty soon, right?
Mm,
We have there's lots of things that we don't get record of for decades. Sometimes even it takes centuries for us to have our first records of them. If there were, records that didn't survive. So Gary can get away with saying early here when he's talking about 5 years because a historian would say 5 years is very early. Now, the thing is, I think he wants to give the impression that he means first weekend.
yeah.
Now, if you're willing to say, I highly dispute his dating, I don't think that he can confidently say within the first 5 years. I had Bart Ehrman on my channel last year and asked him point blank this question, and Bart was like, "No, you can't. 20 years at best is like the best you can say he's into you. Is 5 years less than 20 years? Yeah, so it's possible. But like to be able to confidently say that is just like wishing really at that point. But
So, yeah, go ahead.
You know well, I was gonna say is, all that said, so, okay, so Gary wants to say within 5 years. I don't think he has the data, so to support the 5 years, he has the show of hands from evangelical scholars who want to agree with him that it's in the first 5 years. I couldn't definitively say it isn't, I just don't think the data's there. But I guess you and I just collectively kinda wanna say, "So what?"
Whatever. Yeah, like, when we were talking about this yesterday, I was like, I don't care if it was if it was 15 minutes after they thought that it happened. That doesn't prove anything to me. That proves to me that there was at least 1 or 2 people that believed a thing. That's it. That's it. That doesn't prove to me that somebody rose from the dead, that it actually happened. Like, if I had an experience right now and I believed that I saw my dad walk into the room, like, my father's passed, if I thought
Mhm.
that I saw him walk into the room, I mean, let's pretend there's no camera on, and I came and immediately told you and started telling other people, that not only doesn't mean that that happened, that doesn't mean that you should believe me or that I have really good foundation to, like, where people should believe me.
Right, like, your
It just
defense
means I
wouldn't
have an
be
experience that I'm telling people about.
exactly. Defense isn't gonna be, "Well, it must have been true because I told you 5 minutes after it happened." Like, when is that ever a defense?
Yeah, if that was your standard, imagine the nonsense you would just accept. Like, basically anybody told you actually, like, that they experienced, that they saw. Anything somebody said that they saw, you would have to just go, "Obviously you did, because 'cause you're telling me so fast." You told me right away. So there's no way that you could be wrong about this. You've told me so quickly. It
I
just
do
seems silly to
agree
me.